Hello! Welcome! Today I made this pirate shipwrecked themed jewelry holder. It was a lot of fun, and let's get started. So, first I got these shells from a thrift store. Where I live, there's absolutely no shells or ocean or anything like that, so just popped down to the thrift store and got these. And I'm going in with the colors for each shell. We're going to do kind of an ocean theme, ocean colors. If you're doing something like this, I would suggest using glitters and pearlescence if you have any. Next, I'm going in with black on the edges. I wanted it to look a little bit more antique to give it more of a professional, realistic look. I also went ahead and darkened up some of the natural crevices in the shell. I think that really looked nice. And now we're going to go in with some gold on the edges. I wanted to make it a pirate themed thing the whole time, so I use a lot of gold in this project. Almost all aspects of the project have some kind of gold, and I really liked that. I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing a lot of mermaid jewelry holders, and I kind of wanted to do something like that, but all the shells that I had weren't the prettiest for something like that, so I figured we would do something a little different. Now we're going in with some E6000, and if you're doing something like this, highly recommend E6000. I originally tried to do this with some hot glue, and it did not work at all. It was an absolute train wreck. E6000 worked great. It's still standing today, thankfully. I also sanded the parts where I glue the shells together just to add a little bit more grip so that shells stay on. This is for the octopus tentacle. I just bent some wire into the shape I wanted it and covered it with aluminum foil and polymer clay. And we're going to go ahead with these on the polymer clay. I went ahead and lined them up because I want them to look like the octopus suction cups. And we're taking the end of a paintbrush and just flattening it out to get the right shape. I really like this technique. I don't know where I saw it, but it definitely saved a lot of headache. If you're doing something like this, I would highly recommend using polymer clay. Polymer clay is a lot more durable for stuff like this than air dry clay. And into the oven. Alright, now back in with the E6000. I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it. This whole process, the drying time, took me several days. I think it was 4 or 5 days, just letting each shell dry individually. And now I'm cooking up this white mauve-ish color, and this is for the inside of the suction cups. Originally, I went in with white. It ended up looking like a pimple, and I don't want a pimply octopus. Instead, we get kind of like a diseased chili pepper is kind of what it looks like right now, but that's okay. Now we're going to go ahead with some black on the octopus tentacle. I wanted to have some more dimension, make it look a little more realistic. Now this is looking a lot more like an octopus tentacle. I'm getting excited. I went in with these white inside things with a pencil to look much more like a suction cup. If you're doing this, it's not totally necessary, but I think it really added the dimension it needed. I gave myself trypophobia while doing it, so I mean, we've got that. I think it's safe to say that it worked. Next up, I'm going in with little stipplings of gold around. Again, I wanted to incorporate some more shiny pirate gold look. After I added this, I went ahead and same thing on the shells, I added a clear varnish on all of them. Alright, next up we've got the snail shell, and this was just absolutely relaxing to paint. It was a lot of fun just doing the crevices, and originally I bought a lot of shells at the same thrift store, and I was hoping to use more of them, but they didn't really fit and I couldn't really get them to work how I wanted them to, so I decided to just go with this one shell. So we're just gonna paint it that same pirate gold just to match everything else. I wanted to keep this shell fairly natural because it is supposed to look like it's at the bottom of the ocean. Next, we've got the message in the bottle. I wanted it to look a little bit older. It's a subtle detail, but I thought it might help. And into the bottle it goes. Oh, so cute! Alright, now we've got this skeleton key. I'm also going in with some gold. What's nice about this part though is it also kind of looks like rust, not just gold, which I really like. Now it's time for assembly. Unfortunately, I couldn't really film everything while putting this together. It was a rough time. Next up, this was one of my favorite parts to do, was adding all the pearls. So I'm going ahead with a toothpick, adding some E6000 onto where I want. And there we go, going in with the pearl beads. Now, I found some nail gems, and I wanted to do some little sunken, tiny bits of jewels around the shells in the little crevices. This was one of, if not my favorite detail that I added to the shell. I really liked adding all these little spots. I think that it made it seem much more piratey, in my opinion. While I was looking at this, I was like, you know what I'm missing? I need some kind of plants, because this is at the bottom of the ocean floor. So I went ahead and I stole a leaf from a fake houseplant. We're just gonna cut it up to make it look kind of seaweed-ish. I'm not sure what other methods there are to do this, but this was the first thing that came to mind, and I like how it turned out. I think it turned out decent. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.